about trying to impress the playoff committee, trying to put a little pressure on that selection committee. Georgia Tech on the receiving end. They will start out at their 25. UNC, by the way, winning the toss.
That was geared around Jeff Sims to start the season. Now all the way to number 3 on the depth chart, much different than they expected when they first started the year.
They work out of the pistol. They'll keep it on the ground at Dante Smith. They will rely heavily on their run game because their top threat, Nate McCollum, the leading receiver, is out tonight. A late pregame scratch.
That's a huge loss because McCollum is a guy that you want to get the football to early and often, whether he's in the slot, whether he's on the outside. He is a game changer.
Pretty simple when you talk to the Georgia Tech coaches. We have to run the ball and control the clock and control the tempo and keep the potent Carolina offense on the sideline if we want to have a chance tonight. And they'll run it on second down. It'll be third and about 4. Dante Smith is the junior out of Spring Hill, Tennessee, with over 1,000 yards rushing in his career.
This is a big point in the game right here, third down. This is where, if you're Georgia Tech, you need to convert on third down. You want to keep these drives going. This is an important early part of the football game, especially for Zach Gibson.
There are only 2 teams in FBS less successful on third down. Smith is the offset back. Tight end Leonard in motion. He will try and block, and they've got first down yardage out close to midfield. It's Malik Rutherford, redshirt freshman out of Miami, as we check in on Kirk's Keys.
Well, that's part of Kirk's Keys right there. If you're Georgia Tech, you got to get the Cliff Notes version, meaning you have to shorten this book, shorten this story. How do you shorten the game? Converting on third down like they just did. All ups, no downs. That's defensively for Georgia Tech. All about the ups, making sure that Josh Downs doesn't take over this football game.
Yeah, Josh Downs is the All-America candidate on the other side for Carolina, as they run it again with Dante Smith after the 21-yard gain on the pass play to Malik Rutherford. This is a team that usually does not hurt itself. Only 11 turnovers all season. A fabulous plus-minus number in the turnover department, but they had 4 giveaways against Miami. 3 of those led directly to scores.
Yeah, ugly game last week, and it's both quarterbacks were part of it, right? 2 interceptions by Gibson, 2 by Pyron. They want to make sure these quarterbacks stay on track.
Met in the backfield is Smith trying to spin out of it and make something of it to get back to the line of scrimmage. That was Power Echols leading the way. They have 2 outstanding linebackers in Echols and Cedric Gray, who's their leading tackler.
Well, their numbers end in 3. You just got to figure out which one it is, whether it's 33 or 23. That time it was Power Echols, and that's something you never really see. Him not finish a tackle there, but it's still a loss of 2 on the play.
They were able to convert on their first third down attempt, and here they are looking at 3rd and 6. And trying to run for it and thrown down right at the line. Coming off the edge was Kamen Rucker, the junior out of Hartwell, Georgia, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Kamen Rucker was the defensive player of the game last week for North Carolina. I want you to watch the end. He's at the bottom of the screen. He defeats the tackle with the little club and then slides down and makes the play right in the backfield. That's an outstanding play by the junior Rucker, showing why he was the defensive player of the week just a week ago.
David Shanahan to punt it away, perhaps the first touch of the evening for Josh Downs. And this one end over Josh's head and bounds into the end zone for the touchback. 45 yards on the punt. When we come back, the Heisman candidate Drake Maye set to lead the way.
Is it possible the
redshirt freshman out of Huntersville, North Carolina, 6'4", 220, and putting up gaudy numbers, Kurt.
Yeah, he's a guy that's just doing everything, right? It's about his decision-making, though. You can look at the numbers. They look great, but when you talk to Mac Brown as head coach, it is about the decision-making, which suits to think that he's wise beyond his years.
averaging over 300 yards passing. He's also the leading rusher for the Tar Heels and setting all kinds of records. They'll run it on first down. Elijah Green with a burst across midfield. Inside the 20, and there he goes. Touchdown, Tar Heels, 80 yards. On the opening play of the night for Carolina.
There's not really much you can say. It's great blocking. Kamari Morales, the tight end, gets a nice little kick out. And this is the #1 attribute for Elijah Green. When you ask us, offensive coordinator Phil Longo, tell me about Elijah Green. #1 thing he says, speed. That's it. And he just put it on display. One play, 80 yards, and the Tar Heels are on the board.
Longest rush of the season for Carolina.
Nice little counter play. You get Green racing down the sidelines. And it's a party in Tar Heel country. 7-0 Carolina.
Green. And the quick 7-0 lead. After Georgia Tech had it their first possession, held it for 4 minutes. Their goal tonight was to keep that offense on the sideline, and well, Elijah Green and company showed us why. Good return, spinning out to the 40-yard line is Hassan Hall as we take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players.
Yeah, with Nate McCollum out offensively for Georgia Tech, it's going to fall on Dante Smith. And he's going to be the runner that we've already got 5 carries today. On the defensive side for Georgia Tech, it'd be Charlie Thomas, the quarterback of that defense. Josh Downs, wide receiver for North Carolina, already with 74-11. That's 74 receptions, 11 touchdowns. And the leading tackler on this field today, Cedric Gray, already making an impact for that Tar Heel defense.
So after the 34-yard return for Hassan Hall, a quarterback change here for Georgia Tech. It's Tyson Pumachan. He will keep it, and he will be thrown for a loss. We knew that we would see both quarterbacks tonight, and we've seen them here on their first 2 possessions.
Well, that's what head coach Brent Key talked about when I got down there right before the game. I said, tell me the rotation today. He said, you're going to see both quarterbacks. He's excited to see both of them, the opportunity. They practice hard all year long. Now they're given their opportunity. So we've seen Gibson and now Pumachan.
Now that was Cedric Gray defensively saying hello to Tyson. Of course, the quarterback issue resulting from injuries to both Jeff Sims and Zach Pyron, their top 2 guys out. Around the edge goes Jamie Felix, skips his way across the 45. It'll be 3rd down and a few.
And this is something that North Carolina defensively, they're already aware of. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, they knew they were going to see a couple of wildcats and jokers, things that are a little unorthodox. So they had to prepare for 2 quarterbacks. But this is the down that you got to win. Obviously, North Carolina knows that. But more importantly, Georgia Tech, they have to win 3rd down. There's Gene. It was fun talking with him yesterday as he gets back accustomed to college football. He said being away from it in studio.
He was with TV for a while. Now his 2nd stint at Carolina, and Malik Rutherford, 2 catches, 2 first downs here in the first quarter.
On time, though. That's an on-time throw. Rutherford, the receiver, he knows where the marker is. It's just up and then out, and watch the delivery by Pumachan. That ball's delivered on time. That's what you want from your quarterback. On time, catch, get down for the first.
13 yards on the gain. Pumachan checks to the side. He's got Felix in the background, and now Tyson will go under center. Play clock winding down, and they'll run it to the left side. They like the numbers over there. Down to the 36 for Felix. Power Echols with the tackle.
Yeah, I like what they did there. They checked to a play to the outside, but this is what I love to see what offenses do when they get the wide receivers involved in the run game, because now you're going to force the cornerbacks to have to tackle. See if those DBs want to come up and make some plays at the line of scrimmage.
Four-man pressure. Pumachan finds a seam. He'll run for it, and he's got the first down inside the 30. We've talked a lot about the Carolina offense and how potent they are, but a lot is on the defense here in the last 3 weeks of the season to show folks that that early season game against App State was an apparition.
Yeah, well, apparition. No one's going to forget the 60 burger that they gave up. 61 points they gave up to App State. That's hard to forget, but they played better. They played better of late, especially in the second half of football games. This has been a very opportunistic defense for North Carolina, one that makes plays when they know the game's on the line.
Have been giving up 40 a game early in the season, just 25 points a game in ACC play. Pumachan looking to the end zone for Felix, incomplete. Out of his reach, that was DeAndre Boykins on the coverage.
Nice job by Boykins. That was just a wheel route. And they were trying to get all the action moving toward the right and get the defense moving right. But yet they tried to sneak the back out of the backfield. And Felix kept looking back at the quarterback. He's got to run. That ball is going to find you. But if you're looking back for it, it's going to sail over your head. And that's why it was the incomplete pass.
Second down and 10. Pumachan on the rollout into the flat. Rutherford caught and taken down by Boykins. And it's going to be third down and 10 with the good open field tackle.
Yeah, this game has two outstanding nickel/star players. On the opposite side for Georgia Tech, it's going to be KJ Wallace, the Notre Dame transfer. But for North Carolina, DeAndre Boykins. I call the guys that have to wear the big sombrero because they got the big job of trying to make everybody right in the middle of their defenses.
Heading towards the student section. In the end zone to our left, Pumachan rolling, in some trouble, eludes it, throws it downfield, incomplete, broken up by Storm Duck. That was Rucker who was raising a ruckus in the backfield.
Yeah,
it's fourth down.
He's raising a ruckus on a three-man rush, too. So three guys are trying to get to the quarterback. And that time, Pumachan didn't really have much there. Storm Duck understanding, hey, quarterback out of the pocket, you go find work. You go find the nearest receiver. That time knocking down the third down pass.
Kicking unit comes on. Gavin Stewart, who's 12 for 12 on the season, will attempt from 45. That would be his long of the season. If he can knock it through. Snap a bit dicey. And the special teams cannot get it together. The snap from Henry Freer to the holder, David Shanahan, was wrong from the start. 7-0 Heels.
Okay. Yes, keep the force within Mr. Drake Maye, but also their offensive line helping out their running game, which you saw in the first drive.
Maye gonna throw for the first time and got his man down inside the 40. It's Gavin Blackwell. 35 yards, so chunk plays with their first run and their first pass. They will go up tempo. No Antoine Green and John Copenhaver, two of their targets at wideout and tight end, but otherwise a full complement of the offense. Keon White with the stop on Maye.
So everyone gets elevated one, right? You mentioned it. Antoine Green is out. That means Gavin Blackwell will get a ton of his catches. We'll also see Paysor, J.J. Jones. We'll see all the receivers and Drake Maye as well. Most importantly, Josh Downs finding one of the best receivers in all of the country.
Slotted left on the short list for the Bolitnikoff Award. Slinging it downfield and incomplete. He overthrew Kamari Morales. I mean, the completion percentage is 70%. 34 touchdowns and just 3 picks all season for Drake Maye.
It goes back to his decision-making. I mean, 3 interceptions on a year just shows you he takes care of the football, and he trusts the guys around him. That's also some guys making some outstanding plays.
177 straight passes, in fact, without an INT on 3rd down and 9, in trouble and wrapped up and thrown down. Sacked by Maye Scott. And a good stop for the Tech defense.
Yeah, Maye Scott just watched the rush. He gets in and just fights. He finds a way, and then he's really not even picked up. It's an opportunity where he's act like he's going to run a game, and then he shoots back underneath, and just not enough time. Maye tried to hold it and wait for downs to open up. He just never had the opportunity to get there.
Loss of 5, so the punting unit is on. Ben Kiernan. Dalen Gordon is back deep inside his own 10. He'll fair catch it. "33 yards on the punt." Hey, the NFL returns to Mexico City with our Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup at Estadio Azteca. San Francisco and Arizona, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Deportes.
Rush of the 49ers, but that's still a sore subject around here in the Carolinas.
Well, they've got North Carolina to root for right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Of course, both basketball teams, the men #1 in the country, the women top 15. And always a good time for the fall sports with their women's field hockey team competing for the national championship, the women's soccer team making another deep run, and the Tar Heel footballers at 9-1. So a victory away from a 10-win season, and see if they can creep up a few spots in the eyes of the playoff selection committee. Hassan Hall hauled down by Power Eccles. There's been some craziness already today. Close calls for both Michigan and TCU, and Ohio State losing to Miami, or losing to Maryland at the half tonight.
A lot of teams, I think, are looking ahead, and it's the outside noise. That's what Mac Brown was talking to us about yesterday, right, Beth? How do we not have the outside noise affect us? Let's just go play our game. We worry about the other things when the season's over with.
I think they got both quarterbacks on the field here. Gibson at quarterback. We'll take the snap. Out on the edge, broken up, and it's 4th down. Boykins had the coverage on Malik Rutherford, who has emerged as the go-to guy without Nate McCollum in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, there goes Boykins. Man, he just did the signal for the strap, meaning that he put the seatbelt on, meaning that this kid is getting covered up. That's a nice job by Boykins. He is the player that everyone's kept talking about this week. He's been the guy, kind of the outside of the linebackers. He's one of their better defensive players.
Shanahan will have to punt out of his own end zone. The whirling dervish. Downs will pick it up on a bounce. And now they're going to say that they're going to mark that actually back at the 41-yard line. A punt of 45.
Oh, I think he may have.
He called
for the fair catch. And so once you do that, the protection, remember, no one can touch him.
First down.
So back to the Tar Heel offense from their own 41-yard line. Josh Downs, number 11, in Tar Heel blue, joins Elijah Green in the backfield, and now we'll go in motion. On the receiving end here, looking for a block on the edge. And down he goes back at the initial line of scrimmage. Ayinde Ely, the leading tackler and one of the top guys on that Tech defense, was all over it.
Yeah, that's just a matchup situation, right? You get Downs and you get him out there on the perimeter, a little shaken up after the play. He heads to the sideline, but that's an easy throw for Drake Maye just to get Downs involved early on.
Trying to run it off on the Carolina sideline. Maye, option left, the pitch to Green. Good open field tackle, close to midfield. LaMiles Brooks, the safety, took him down, but a 7-yard gain. 3rd and a couple.
Yeah, 3rd and minimal, 3rd and manageable for North Carolina and Georgia Tech, these are the opportunities that you got to realize Drake Maye can take it off and run at any point.
Huge development here for North Carolina as Downs takes the helmet off and slams it down on the Tar Heel bench with an apparent injury. Maye stepping up, he'll run for it and he'll get it. Diving down to the 45.
That's always the hard part, so I'll just mention it. If you're Georgia Tech defensively, you get into third and short, you're like, okay, we got to watch the quarterback, but then also, too, we got to make sure we're covering the outside. But with no downs on the field, my focus definitely stays on the quarterback.
Boy, and he initially grabbed the left knee as he went to ground. And still trying to work through it. 1st and 10. And across midfield for Carolina. Green hit in the backfield. It's another negative yardage play led by Charlie Thomas.
Yeah. That's the linebacker. And it's part of the... Coach Thacker, Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. And he said, look, I don't want to talk too loud, but, man, I feel like I got 2 of the best linebackers in all of the country. The best duo, Charlie Thomas. You don't take long to put the film on and watch number 1 flying around the field.
2nd and 11, Maye. Lot of green in front of him, and Drake Maye has the first down inside the 30-yard line. Good scramble for the redshirt freshman. He picks up 16.
Well, this is an opportunity where you have to keep the quarterback in contain. Watch 32. Sylvan Yunjuin. He's got to keep the contain, keep the quarterback in the pocket. Coach Thacker, the defensive coordinator, said, yes, sacks are cool. They're cool, but we got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. This is where Drake Maye can hurt you getting outside, especially right there, pick up the first down.
Empty set, 5 receivers for the Tar Heels, and now Green to the backfield. First and 10 from the 30. Maye, incomplete. Intended for Kobe Paysour, appeared to be on the money. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, who's going to be the go-to guy now? No Josh Downs. He's still on the sideline right now, being looked at by the medical staff. So now it's receivers looking around. Who's going to be the guy? And remember, they're down Antoine Green as well. So now you've got a bunch of wide receivers in some different positions now going to have to make a play for their quarterback.
Yeah, Kobe Paysour would be the next man in line. So the top 2 receivers out right now. Green tripped up.
Wow.
At the 31, and Brooks has been making plays on this drive.
You talk about alleys. Well, Miles Brooks making alley tackles. Wow.
That'll take care of the first quarter. 7-0 North Carolina over Georgia Tech. Well, before and during the game this evening, both teams honored the quarter for Carolina. Josh Downs, their star receiver, is on the sideline. Drake Maye will run for it. The cut back inside the 20, and he's got it. His second first down run of the night. He goes for 12 here behind Corey Gaynor.
I don't know how much man-to-man you want to play against Drake Maye. Look at all the guys, backs turned on their man, and Drake Maye just takes off and it finds the vision that's needed to get the first down. One of the elements that Drake Maye brings to the football game.
And Josh Downs is back out there. He's slotted right. Left earlier with an apparent injury, and now returning to the lineup. Maye on the rollout, slips and falls behind the line of scrimmage, trying to cut back. Keon White made sure he didn't get far, and a loss of 1. So there's Josh Downs, their leading receiver. Had over 100 catches and 1,000 yards a year ago.
Yeah, he came in today, I mentioned earlier, 74-11. That's a lot. That's 74 catches, 11 touchdowns. He gets in the end zone. Drake Maye finds him a lot. And just him being on the field makes this a better football team, especially in that skill position group.
DJ Jones is in a tailback. He gets the call. Spins down to the 15, a gain of 5. Charlie Thomas with the tackle, and it's 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, you're going to see Green, a little bit of Jones. But it's been Green who had that first play of the game, 80-yard touchdown run. It's about his blocking, but Jones showing that he wants to get some of these carries as well.
3rd and 6, looking for Downs. He's got him. Reaching for the first down, it looks like. Let's see where they spot him. Close to the 9. KJ Wallace had the tackle.
Are they going to give it to him?
Crowd doesn't like the spot, and it is short.
Yeah, I see the official with that fist up. 4th and short. And that's an easy call. I'm going for it. 4th down, I'm going for it.
12th play of this drive, they will go for it. Omarion Hampton in the backfield. Maye will give it to him, and he bowls his way forward. It's 1st and goal, Tar Heels. Ace Healy with the tackle.
They went with the true freshman on that time. I was mentioning Green, Jones, and now the 3rd back, Hampton, getting some. On 4th and short, he just lowers his shoulder. Now 1st and goal for the Tar Heels.
Hampton will stay in there at tailback. Maye looking left. Now middle. Incomplete in the back of the end zone, looking for his tight end, Bryson Nesbitt. 2nd and goal.
A lot of quarterbacks, not just in the NFL or college, but also in the NFL, they can't make that throw. You've got Drake Maye rolling to his left, and watch how he's able to contort his body. Go back around. That ball's probably just a little bit higher in the air. That's a touchdown. All right, I said that he's throwing some Patrick Mahomes type passes, and Phil Longo said, no, he's not Patrick Mahomes. But he does have that Patrick Mahomes-esque type of passes.
They call
in his
him
arsenal.
off-platform throws. He'll roll out Maye, and he'll step up and taken down at the 10-yard line. Keon White able to slow him down, and now it's 3rd and goal with a loss of 2.
Keon White has been effort. That's effort all day today. He understands what his defensive coordinator, Andrew Thacker, is explaining to the guys. Let's keep him in the pocket. Let's make sure if Drake Maye has to do anything, he has to step up rather than step out.
2nd sack of this first half. 15th play now of the drive.
1-on-1 at the bottom with Josh Downs.
To Elijah Green, trying to come out of the backfield, and it's Keon White again. 4th down. Big time stop here by the Tech defense. And will the offense stay after a loss of 4? No, they will bring on the kicking unit.
That's a nice hold defensively for Georgia Tech. Right, they did what they're supposed to do. I said it earlier, ups, no downs, meaning Josh Downs can't catch the football. He's got to have 2 sets of eyeballs on that last play. They had that. They double-teamed Downs, forced someone else to have to beat you, and Maye went with the check down, and a nice job by White again with another play.
Noah Burnett with a 31-yard field goal attempt. On its way, and it's good. They wanted 7, they'll take the 3, 10-0, Tar Heels. Back-to-back home games tonight, Georgia Tech. Next week, NC State. And then they are off to Charlotte for the ACC championship game against Clemson, December 3rd. They lead at 10-0 over Georgia Tech. And a studio update now with Kevin and Sam.
Yeah, Beth, time for our AT&T countdown to the CFP National Championship. 17 unanswered now for Dallas Hayden in Ohio State.
Dallin Hayden, 14 carries, 70 yards. This running game is starting to pick up. Ohio State's trying to put Maryland away.
Now the Terps are inside the Ohio State 10. Start of the 4th quarter, Beth.
Thanks, guys. The Buckeyes trying to match Michigan's win earlier today over Illinois to set up an undefeated showdown at the Shoe next weekend. Of course, that would be winner take all to get into the Big Ten championship game, and also a playoff eliminator for the loser.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. We already know what that game's all about next week, right? It's almost like a de facto championship game for the Big Ten, and then you have their real Big Ten championship the following weekend.
We've seen both Zach Gibson and Tyson Pumachan at quarterback in the first half for Georgia Tech. 65 yards of total offense thus far on 18 plays. That's been it for the Yellow Jackets. Pumachan out of the gun. They'll run it up the middle with Dante Smith, and he runs right into Cedric Gray.
Yeah, if you're watching the North Carolina front, Gene Chizik, he likes to rotate his guys. So you see big number 4, Travis Shaw. You see Javari Ritzy, the number 5. Both these guys are rotating, and they're creating havoc up front, which allows the linebackers, Power Echols and Cedric Gray, to scrape to the football and make those plays in the backfield.
Looking at a 3rd down and 9. Pumachan to throw. And it's picked off at the 39-yard line. Intercepted by Storm Duck. And a takeaway for the Tar Heel defense.
I'll tell you this, Storm Duck, I don't know who's more excited. Is it Storm Duck or his defensive backs coach, Dre Bly? Because Storm Duck undercuts this football. He's in phase, and he jumps in front of the receiver and watches defensive backs coach. That's his defensive backs coach, Dre Bly, right there, the first person to greet him. I think the coach is more excited than the player, but Storm Duck on the all-name team, by the way, in college football, with an interception, getting his Tar Heel offense back on the field.
Short field now for Drake Maye. They went 16 plays, had the ball for nearly 8 minutes their last possession, had to settle for 3. They'll run it here with Omarion Hampton. And even though the number looks pretty good on the scoreboard, bit of a slow start so far for the passing game. Drake Maye 5 for 8, 34 yards.
Well, I think we got to note that Josh Downs missed part of this first half with an injury, and the offense looks different without number 11, Josh Downs, on the field.
Big play, the 80-yard touchdown run for Elijah Green. And another big burst. This is Hampton carrying a defender down inside the 15 and a first down. A run of 21 yards.
88, Kamari Morales, the tight end. Watch the hook. He comes around, and it's the block on the kick out, and then Morales, the tight end, 88. He gets the seal. And when you get a seal, it should be signed, sealed, and delivered, is what Omarion Hampton was able to get big yardage for the game. First down.
More ground and pound. Hampton, a nice cutback to the 10. The freshman out of Clayton, North Carolina, had a couple of 100-yard rushing games in the first 3 weeks of the season. The Heels have not had a 100-yard rusher since that.
Yeah, but I think you're getting a chance to see all the backs. We've seen DJ Jones. We saw Elijah Green, you mentioned in that first series, and now this has been Omarion Hampton. And look, do you have to use Drake Maye every play? No. The way they're running the football today, this may be a ground and pound type of game.
They run for 150. Second and 6, more Hampton. Down to the 6-yard line. They can still get a first down around the 3. Keon White with the tackle.
Yeah, you get that 4 strong. 4 strong means 4 eligible receivers are strong. 3 receivers and now the running back. So you always think the back has to come back your way. But again, if you're Georgia Tech, my eyeballs have to figure out, first of all, where is Josh Downs? Where is Josh Downs? He's public enemy number 1. He's lined up top.
Strong side slot right there on the hashes. Maye rolls out. Looking back at the end zone. Incomplete. J.J. Jones couldn't haul it in. Zamari Walton had the coverage.
Now, that may look like a difficult catch or opportunity to catch it, but that ball's on the money. I mean, that Drake Maye put that right where it needed to be, and now it's decision time. It's 4th and short. All the momentum on your side if you're North Carolina, and Mack Brown elects to keep that offense on the field.
Last time inside the 10-yard line, they were stopped, had to settle for 3. 4th and 2. Maye scrambling, running for it, lunging to the 5, and that'll be short. Stood up a yard before the line to gain by Ely. And Georgia Tech will take over on downs.
Just what the doctor ordered for Georgia Tech. just what the doctor ordered. There's Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator. If you're going to go for it, you better have the right play call. Georgia Tech defensively creating havoc, and Ely with the big stop.
Chick-fil-A. Your top four, of course, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU. Buzzer-beating field goals for Michigan and TCU earlier today. Ohio State in a nail-biter. Tennessee, South Carolina coming up tonight in prime time. Big night as well for the Pac-12 conference. USC trying to remain in contention. Taking on UCLA as Jamie Felix gets the carry after the 4th down stop. So Georgia Tech's defense has held Carolina to just 3 points when the Heels have twice gotten inside the 10-yard line.
Well, they've created havoc as well. The Georgia Tech defense already 2 sacks on the day. They're frustrating the guys up front on that offensive line of North Carolina.
Now can the offense help them out? Just 68 yards of total offense. They go back to Zach Gibson and will run the screen. And it's a good one for a 1st down out to the 25, Jamie Felix.
Yeah, nice job, Chip Long, offensive coordinator. You realize the rush for North Carolina is starting to take effect. And now what do? You allow the rush. And good job by Gibson absorbing the rush and then getting the screen pass off to Felix for the gain for a 1st. And see methodically take their time, right? This is part of the game plan. They're total opposite of the Tar Heel offense.
Felix wrapped up by Gray and Duck.
That's still a positive run. And if you're Georgia Tech, you just want to keep marching forward. Those 2-3-yard runs later in the game turn into hopefully 7- and 8-yard runs. Sometimes people look at stats, but they always, oh my God, they only rush for 2.5 yards, 3 yards a carry. I don't care about the yards. Sometimes I just care about the touches, and that's what Brent Key, that's what he's preaching to his guys. Today is about touches. It's not about the yards.
Blitz coming at Gibson. Pass is away, incomplete, intended for Dylan Leonard. Well, Tuesday night, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will break it all down for you. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the app. Last week, Carolina moved up a couple of spots to number 13. There is still a path for them to the playoff. They need a lot of help.
Well, it's a
certainly
bumpy
still
path.
have to win it to stay in it.
Yeah, it's a rocky path, but there is a path.
It's uphill.
Yes.
No doubt about that. They're down and 8. Good defense from the Tar Heels, and came in a rucker. Caught Felix, and it's 4th down.
And that's the 2nd time this game that there's just not a trust, I think, with Chip Long and the offense. It's 3rd and 8, and you don't allow Zach Gibson to at least try to throw the ball down the field. That was a 3-man rush by North Carolina, and the power in, Rucker able to come underneath and make the play.
Josh Downs back at his 25 as David Shanahan gets set to punt it away. Short.
Been tipped.
And that will skip out of bounds at the 42-yard line. And a punt of just 25 yards. 4:08 to go in the 1st half. Carolina by 10.
T-minus 3 seconds for liftoff.
Command Center. Be advised, we're going to need a few moments.
John Robinson has dominated Kansas.
He had 25 carries, 243 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What stands out most about him is his vision. There could be a hole downhill, but he'll bounce it outside and still outrun everybody.
Tougher to get your hands on than Taylor Swift tickets, Beth.
I see what you did there, Kevin.
That's a sore spot for you, Beth.
I may or may not have gotten hands on a few of those. Maye aired it out deep, incomplete. He overthrew Gavin Blackwell. Drake Maye, of course, from a very competitive family of Carolinians. Managed to sneak a Florida Gator into the mix.
And he was quick to tell me, because I had to ask him yesterday, are you the only Maye without a good jump shot? He said, oh, no, don't get it twisted now. I can shoot the basketball, I can throw the football much better.
Dad was a quarterback here, football players, basketball players, baseball players in the family. Nesbitt on the receiving end. An angry run after the catch for Bryson as he rambles 36 yards to get into the red zone.
And a 6'5", 230-pound tight end just runs a hookup route. Goes down 10 yards, turns around, hooks up with the quarterback, and then it's a run after the catch. Get your head down, make a couple guys pay, and get inside the red zone for the offense.
Third trip, they're 0 for 2 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Nesbitt down to the 1-yard line, slammed out of bounds by Miles Sims, and it's 1st and goal and a gain of 18.
Yeah, he's heating up, that's what they would say. That's the quarterback, Drake Maye, heating up. Nice throw to the outside, right in between the safety and the corner, finding Nesbitt.
Maye hands it off, and rambling in is Elijah Green, his 2nd score of the night. Touchdown, Tar Heels.
You get down inside the 2-yard line, you just give it to the back, 6 foot, 205, and that's just power. That is power by Elijah Green. He's shown you 2 things today, Elijah Green. First, on the first play of the game offensively, was speed. This time, showing the power.
55 yards in 55 seconds, only 4 plays necessary. Drake Maye to Bryson Nesbitt doing most of the damage. 17-0 Heels.
Elijah Green with the speed, but this time running over Powell Lee for the touchdown.
Are you ready? Okay, say no more. She's a Lotus and I'm the conductor.
But all you got was ham?
Rocking tonight for Georgia Tech. They've got NC State coming in here next weekend. And then Clemson in Charlotte in the ACC championship game. Hassan Hall on the return. Down 17-0, just over 3 minutes to go in the half. And time for more of Kevin and Sam in the studio.
Yes, Beth, coming up on the DirecTV halftime report, we will check in on the Ohio State University in the lead right.
Looking forward to that. Did you see the TCU kick, the buzzer beater? They ran onto the field. Last 10 seconds, got it together.
Well, Kevin and Sacho got you all covered. Sam Macho, call him Sacho.
Tyson Pumachan is back in at quarterback as they continue to rotate he and Zach Gibson.
Yeah, it's a big drive, too, because you don't want to give Drake Maye and his offense another opportunity before the half. So if I'm Chip Long and I'm Brent Key over on that Georgia Tech sideline, well, we want to let this clock wind. We don't want to give Drake Maye another opportunity who really start to heat up in that last drive.
Pumachan on the RPO. Hall cannot get to the outside. How about the checklist for Carolina on both sides of the football? Obviously, the defense is pitching a shutout. Yes. They want their defense to look really good for the selection committee down the stretch. And offensively, they're almost halfway to their point total here in the first half of play, getting it done.
It's a much better defense, especially of late. The second half of the season, I really feel like Gene Chizik and his defense have really come into their own. Early part, a little difficult, but it is. That's what happens when you introduce a new defensive coordinator.
Of course, those two are longtime collaborators from their days at Texas and here in Carolina. Hey, tonight at 8 Eastern, by the way, over on the ACC Network, we'll cap off the day with ACC Net Prime Time, Syracuse and Wake Forest. And then after that, the ACC Huddle Crew will have all the latest for you. Of course, one of the breaking news stories today, Wake Forest quarterback Sam Hartman is declaring for the NFL draft at the end of the season.
Sam. They may say about this news.
Chizik's defense just beating Wake Forest on the road last Saturday.
And to his point, Gene Chizik said, I had never been a coordinator of a defense against an offense like Georgia Tech, like Wake Forest. Never seen that before.
Ever changing. Third down, the throw's going to be close. Hassan Hall, Storm Duck on the coverage, and they got it.
Just enough.
Carolina had burned a timeout hoping to get the ball back.
Yeah.
But
this is a tremendous job by Hall. First of all, holding on to the football, but Storm Duck's right there at the chains, but good timing on the route. Just enough for a first down.
They rotate back to Zach Gibson here at quarterback. And the run for Hall, and he's met again right at the line. Kevin Hester, Don Chapman. Clock running under 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is really all about just keeping this drive going and getting into the half, right? You're down 17-0. Unless you want to start putting this ball in the air, I think you're trying to continue to keep grinding this thing on out, especially with North Carolina still having 2 timeouts left.
Tar Heels have held them to just 3 yards per play, equaling 100 yards total in the first half. Swing it out to Hassan Hall, and he'll pick up more first down yardage, a gain of 12.
I think you learn more and more as the game goes on. What has been the play that's worked? It's been the running backs out of the backfield, whether it's Hall, Smith. Get them lined up on either a linebacker or a safety. That's been their most positive play so far.
First and 10. Gibson, play action. He'll sling it downfield. Looking for Rutherford, and he's got it. First down to the 41-yard line.
Oh, that's a long throw. Remember, the ball's on the left hash. So that ball's got to go a long way across the field, and that ball is thrown on a dime. Best throw of the day so far by Zach Gibson.
Yeah, and a gain of 20. Still have 3 timeouts left. Well, the urgency is not there just now. Taking a long time to change up this play. Gibson underneath, wide open Hall. Inside the 20, the 15, the 10, and down to the 5. First and goal, Jackets.
Running backs out of the backfield. I don't think North Carolina has got the memo. The running back out of the backfield is what's created this drive for them. A nice job again, Zach Gibson finding the back. Hall out of the backfield for the big gain.
36 yards, first and goal. Hall up the gut, down to the 1. And now a timeout called by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I love this drive for Georgia Tech.
Their first time out of the half.
Remember, it all started with that big third down pickup by Hassan Hall, right? They get the first down, just enough for the first down, and you get the big throw over here on the sideline by Gibson. And then a breakdown in coverage for North Carolina, and now the Yellow Jackets are banging at the door inside the 2-yard line.
82 yards on this drive, almost matching their total for the entire first half prior. And looking to punch it in for 7.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got Gibson in the game, but I would say maybe Tyson Pumachan comes in the game. He's more of the runner. Give me sort of a double threat look. I think knowing if Gibson's in the game at quarterback for Georgia Tech, North Carolina is not probably worried about the quarterback. Now you put in 17, Pumachan, you got to worry about the quarterback and the running back. So
Gibson is 6 of 8, 109 yards passing.
they'll keep Pumachan on the sideline.
He's got Dante Smith alongside him. 2 tight ends hanging on that right side of the line. Smith up the middle. And he forces his way in. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Capping off an 84-yard drive late in this first half.
Yeah, they just went downhill. And give a lot of credit to the tight ends, Luke Benson, 81, and Dylan Leonard, number 2. It became an old rugby scrum, and they helped escort their running back, Dante Smith, into the end zone. Inside the 5, you got to get tough. That was a tough run by Dante Smith.
Extra.
Talk about something that just said a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief by Britt Key. Offense really hadn't done much.
Oh.
And both quarterbacks have been rotating every series. That time it was Zach Gibson getting the job done. Remember, this is an offense that's without Nate McCullum today. Out upper body injury. So they've been manufacturing offense without their best offensive weapon on the sideline.
Gibson was 4 of 4 on that drive for 71 yards, and now North Carolina can turn it over to Drake Maye. Little Heisman contender moment perhaps coming up. See what they can do in the final minute here. George Pettaway will bring it out, and he'll stumble and fall down at the 20-yard line. And we've got a flag down on the play as well.
Yeah, but it started with that third down play early to Hassan Hall. They got the first down, and then it was this pass. Right to the outside to Rutherford
after the
from
play,
Gibson.
personal foul,
and then a breakdown in coverage by
kicking
North
team number
Carolina.
18.
They got the ball
15-yard
inside the
penalty,
5-yard line.
first down.
And then Dante Smith finishing it off with the big run.
Wow, and this is big here. A 15-yard personal foul penalty on Georgia Tech. So instead of the ball at the 20, it'll be out at the 35 for the Tar Heel attack.
They still got 2 timeouts left, so opportunity to maybe steal some points here right before the half. Remember, North Carolina gets the ball to start the second half, so can they steal some points on the way into the locker room?
That was the first flag of the half, by the way. And now George Pettaway, who just returned the kick, will stay in at tailback for the first time. Maye looking for Pettaway out of the backfield, and he's got it first down across the 45 into the arms of Ace Ely, and a gain of 11.
Yeah, nice drive starter, right? You get the running backs involved early. You just want to get a positive play going, get the offense going now. Right back on the ball.
We are watching Pro Football Focus's top-graded quarterback in college football so far this year. And Maye finds his man to the outside. Looks like they're going to mark him a yard shy, and a penalty flag back behind the line. First in FBS in total yards, in passing touchdowns, and #1 in TDs responsible for, with 39 on the season.
It was an interesting call here because it's not in the area of holding.
The ruling on the field, the pass was completed short of the line to gain. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 65. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
Boy, and the veteran center, Gaynor, gives it right back.
Yeah, it was interesting because I saw the flag come down, but I didn't see where the hold came from. But it looks like the center, Corey Gaynor, who the Miami transfer. So the play stands, which is short of the first down, but take them back 15 yards, so second down. There's
that extra shove.
That second guy always gets caught.
Maye out of bounds. Daquan Dowse coming after the quarterback.
Wow,
and now it's 3rd and 16. Costly penalty.
I was just about to say that. That's a drive killer. Those types of penalties kill drives. And you had something going. Drake Maye had a nice little rhythm. First couple passes, and then you get backed up, and now you're forced with a 3rd and 16.
It's an experienced group up front, but not a whole lot of time together with the transfers. Maye sacked for the 3rd time tonight. Keon White got there.
Keon White with a first half hat trick. That's the hat trick for Keon White. Again, this is the plan. not allow Drake Maye to exit east and west.
Georgia Tech.
Want him to step up, because if you step up, you step up into the traffic.
Timeout.
And that's the guy causing all the traffic, Keon White.
Georgia Tech coming up with big plays defensively against Drake Maye in this first half.
That's how they drew it up. It wasn't about the horizontal movement of Drake Maye. They wanted him to go vertical. They wanted him to step up through the teeth of the defense and allow these outside rushers the ability to react, and that's what they've been doing.
3 tackles for loss, a pair of sacks for Keon White, leading the charge up front.
And he's just watching him redirect. He's been a force. See how it is? He gets upfield and then he redirects back down. And again, just seeing the quarterback, just his redirection, keeping his eyes up. This is just a nice little tackle on the outside for loss. And again, just the will, the want to, and this is an effort sack by Keon White.
Nobody back deep there. May try and come after this here. 16 seconds to go in the half. Ben Kiernan from his own 20.
North Carolina sees that. They bring in the wing, so get the tight punt going.
Kiernan low and a good bounding punt. That'll find its way inside the 15. Carolina will receive the opening kick of the second half, so they'll call on the Georgia Tech defense again. 55 yards on that kick. Anticipated knee here, and a 10-point game into the break.
Man, if you're Brent Key, I'm happy with my bunch. Hey, we gave up a couple of plays, but we're right where we want to be. We're in this football game. We make a couple more plays, we can take the lead early on. And if you're Mack Brown on the opposite side, it's a little bit different. This is what he talked about. Can my team play a 60-minute football game? And there's been these lulls and ups and downs, and this is what he's trying to prepare his team for, knowing that they got a conference championship game in a couple weeks.
Zach Gibson takes the knee, and that'll do it. 17-7. North Carolina over Georgia Tech. The big play, the 80-yard touchdown run for Elijah Green. Time for the halftime report with Kevin Connors and Sam Acho.
Beth, we've got a ball game in Chapel Hill. We've had some day
to finish out the half to get a touchdown on the board. Stewart set to boot it away. Will Hardy back deep. And he will give it a go. Hardy has a lane in front of him. Across the 25 and run out at the 30-yard line. And that's where the offense will get set to take over as we return to Chapel Hill. Beth Mowens, along with Kirk Morrison, Stormy Bonatoni with us as well. Not exactly the style points that Carolina was hoping for, right, but they do have the 10-point advantage coming out of the break.
Well, they have the advantage, but they haven't played their best football, and that's what their coach has been pleading, Mack Brown. We have to play more consistent. Outside of the first play of the game, offensively, they ran for an 80-yard touchdown. They really haven't had much going. It was a short field on a bad punt by Georgia Tech that resulted in their next score. Can they get drives together in the second half? And especially Drake Maye, can he help this offense start and get ignited?
108 yards passing, 60% in that first half on his completion rate as he connects with Bryson Nesbitt. Coming in averaging 341 yards per game. Both their touchdowns so far have been on the ground. Following in his father Mark's footsteps as a quarterback here at Carolina. And a first down run for Elijah Green after an initial commitment to Alabama. And then the arrival of Mack Brown as the new head coach. Drake decided that his love for Carolina ran too deep and he had to wear the Tar Heel blue. And what an impression he has made in his first season as the starter. Green corralled in the backfield, ball is out. Scramble for the loose ball. Oh, Tech had a shot at it. Daquan Dowse able to knock it out. And North Carolina gets it back, but with a heavy loss of 13 yards.
Yeah, 99, Daquan Dowse. He just splits the double team and gets through to the running back. And he's actually trying to twist him down, and that ball just, it seemed to just fall out. I don't think it was punched out. It just not held securely, tightly enough, and falls out at the end.
DJ Jones now coming on at tailback. Second down in a long, long way. The screen to Jones goes nowhere. Snuffed out by Charlie Thomas. This Georgia Tech defense playing with confidence, playing with momentum right now.
That's that FBI that Andrew Thacker was talking about. That football intelligence of Charlie Thomas. He talked about these linebackers.
Stormy.
Make every play count in this half.
Deep ball. Nesbitt had it and couldn't hang on to it at the 35. And the return the other way for Georgia Tech. Was there a whistle to call the play dead back at the 35-yard line? K.J. Wallace with the return all the way down inside the 20.
Yeah, that was a whole bunch of running for nothing, though. Because no matter what, the ball was, if it was fumbled, the ground can't cause a fumble. So it'd be down at the point of where the catch was made and then fumbled. But I never thought that he maintained possession of the football. So I think this is an incomplete pass.
Ruling on the field, catching a fumble, and a Wallace return of 49 yards down to the Carolina 11.
Yeah, it'll be under review, and I think that's why Mac Brown is so cool and calm, because I never thought Nesbitt had full control of this football. I think this is an incomplete pass.
Is under further review.
Never had firm control.
No.
So it was a nice little exercise of everybody run up and down the sideline, but this will come back as an incomplete pass.
Well, even if they did say it was a catch, like you said, the ground knocked it out. So we'll figure it out when we come back. And as we suspected, the call on the field reversed to an incomplete pass. So it's 4th down and the punting unit on for the Tar Heels from their own 29-yard line. End over end, and coming up to try and pick it up was Jamal Haynes. A little scary moment there for Tech. Able to corral it, 39 yards on the punt. We'll kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, with the Countdown crew on ESPN. Matt Hasselbeck going all access with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, plus Justin Jefferson breaking down that incredible catch the other day and all the latest news from around the NFL. Tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Georgia Tech's defense gets a stop, and now their first possession of this second half was Zach Gibson at quarterback. They scored the last time they had it. Dante Smith. Well, the carpet monster got him.
I don't think Gene Chizik and his defense has got the memo, Beth. Waiting for them to get the memo. The running back out of the backfield is a weapon.
Yep.
And how many times have we seen the running back for Georgia Tech get out of the backfield and no one's covering them? Another easy throw for Zach Gibson for a big play on first down.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. They'll try and run it up the middle, and they'll run right into Kevin Hester. And it's 3rd down and a couple.
Yeah, nice job building a wall there by North Carolina. This is now a situation where how does Georgia Tech find the big play? Okay, because they want this easy throws, 4-yard gains, 3-yard gains, but they got to convert here on 3rd down. This is where the second half will be won. Who wins 3rd down? Will it be Georgia Tech's offense or the Carolina defense?
Smith tries to get around the corner, and he's got the first down.
And round 1 of that battle goes to the Georgia Tech offense. Nice call there. Old school student body left. Look at all the blockers in front as they're able to get a nice little block, a couple seals there. And you get Corey Robinson, the left tackle, also leading the way, and a running back putting his head down and finding the first down marker.
Second third down conversion of the night. Play action. Gibson all day. Nowhere to throw it, so he's got to run out to the 48. Gain of 6.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go with tremendous coverage in the back end. And Gibson just taking what the defense gives you. Nobody's there, get 5 yards.
$58 yards rushing now on the night. See if they stick to with Zach Gibson. He's been a little more productive at the quarterback spot. In fact, more passing yards than Drake Maye tonight. On the run with Felix. First down, and the ball pops out. Still on the ground. And Georgia Tech able to dive on it. Malachi Carter.
Wow. It looked like it was Storm Duck. Number 3, the quarterback coming in
on
late.
The field, the fumble was recovered by Georgia.
Felix was trying to get more yards, and this is where Felix is a freshman. You got to know when the journey's over, when it's over. There's Storm Duck. Got the lawnmower out, right, Beth? Starting that lawnmower. Got that hand in there and ripped it out like he's starting a lawnmower. Ball's squirting around. Crisis averted as Georgia Tech recovers.
And they get the first down. Blitz coming right up the middle. And they've got the screen set up for Smith inside the 20. And hauled out of bounds at the 15. Everybody was coming for the quarterback, and Zach Gibson got it out just in time.
It's all about timing. Timing by the quarterback. Watch Zach Gibson. He holds this football knowing he's going to take a shot. He knows he's going to get hit, but he waits to the last second and dumps it off to Smith, and Smith does the rest. Yeah, you get a nice little fist pump on the sideline. He paid for that one, but the offense takes...
Gibson heads out, and it's Pumachan now in at quarterback.
I don't know if I like this decision. Gibson, the last couple of drives, has really pushed this offense. Now you change the momentum of the offense by bringing in Pumachan.
Gibson appears to be okay on the sideline. Pumachan to the 10. Javari Ritzy, Chris Collins on the tackle.
I think they get down into the red zone. They're switching the quarterback up, but Gibson has been the guy, right? His last couple drives, he's put the offense in the position that they've been in. So I don't really understand this call. I get it. Pumachan gives you the quarterback run, but Gibson's decision-making has been best.
Trying to make this a 3-point game. Pumachan calls his own number. Inside the 5, he's going to be close to first down yardage. Behind Dylan Leonard.
That's a good push.
And he's got it. First and goal, Georgia Tech. Scored on their last possession of the first half. And now trying to score on their first of the second.
Yeah, this has to be 4-down territory as well if you're Georgia Tech. I know it's still early in the football game in the second half, but you get inside the 5, you want a touchdown here.
Added muscle with 3 tight ends. Stacked to the right.
Empty backfield.
Pumachan runs right behind those stacked tight ends, and he's in. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Well, you got the old offensive line coach, Brent Key, now the head coach, interim head coach. He brings in Tyson Pumachan, and you said, you know what? We're just going to run the ball down their throats. They get inside that red zone. It wasn't about throwing. It wasn't about being flashy. It was downhill runs with the quarterback, Tyson Pumachan.
9 plays, 68 yards in about 5 minutes. PAT is good. And it's 14 points on the board for Georgia Tech to make it a 3-point game.
Well, if it's a boxing match, put my money on Tyson Pumachan. Georgia Tech down 3.
Amber?
Early. Clemson, a big win over Miami as they get set for the ACC title game against North Carolina, December 3rd, 8 Eastern on ABC. Georgia Tech, one of those teams, they've got to win their last two to become bowl eligible against Carolina tonight and then Georgia next week. How about a studio update with Kevin and Sam?
Columbia, Spencer Rattler 60 yards to Josh Van.
Up 14-7, big plays. Tennessee defense looking porous again.
21 points so far in less than 10 minutes, Beth. It's 14-7 on ESPN.
Oh, plenty of intrigue today with ranked teams around the country, including one right here. What was 17-zip Carolina is now a 3-point game. Back-to-back scores for Georgia Tech. And now how does Drake Maye and the offense respond? Elijah Green will take it out across the 30. Drake has been putting up gaudy numbers all year long, but so far it's been the Georgia Tech defense, the story when the Heels have had the football.
Yeah, I give them a ton of credit. They've come in with a game plan, and they've worked their game plan to perfection of keeping Drake Maye uncomfortable in the pocket.
134 total yards of offense for Drake so far tonight. More on the ground. Huge hole for Green, who's already got an 80-yard score, and he's going for another one long distance. Elijah Green, touchdown, Tar Heels. 68 yards for the score. And a penalty flag back at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I think they get a hold.
Holding.
Maybe right on the right guard, 18. I believe. 65
penalty
on the center. Maybe Corey Gaynor, I believe it was. At right guard was just a little bit of a hold. And it was the delay by Elijah Green that waited for the blocks to develop. And he hit the hole 100%. He was downfield. But obviously there was a hold there. Unfortunate for North Carolina.
Just the second penalty on the Heels.
But that's been their story, though. Costly penalties and the fumble on the last drive that resulted in a 3rd and long as well. So this has been self-inflicted wounds by the Tar Heels offense.
Well, and it's what Mac Brown talked about with us yesterday, what Stormy Bonatoni was reporting on earlier tonight. The great teams find ways to avoid trap games like this. And the trap has been set by Georgia Tech this evening. And it's the 4th sack of the night for their defense. This time it's Jason Moore. And a loss of 6.
It's just the rush. And it's sort of a must rush, right? They wanted Drake Maye to step up, and he's doing exactly what they wanted. It's the rush from the outside, forcing the quarterback to step up, and there's a face full of defensive tackle for the sack.
3rd down and 19. Maye, pocket collapsing. Gets away from the first line, and he'll be taken down at the 22 by Charlie Thomas. And how about the showing right now for Georgia Tech's defense, looking to get the ball back to their O with a chance to tie it or take the lead in the second half.
You gotta love football. You gotta love football. This is a 4-6 football team that they know what's in front of them. A number 13 team in North Carolina next week versus the number 1 team, Georgia. But on that sideline, it's a belief right now. It's a belief that they can get it done.
Last 3 possessions for the Tar Heel offense, -5 yards total. Against the Ramblin' Wrecking Crew. 5:20 momentum right now with Georgia Tech. And how about the night for Zach Gibson right now? The numbers better than Drake Maye's so far. The 3rd string quarterback tonight for Georgia Tech. And now, after trailing by 17, they've got a chance to take the lead here.
Yeah, and Zach Gibson it's not like he's not started before. He played in 7 games last year. He's a transfer from Akron. So he's played in football games before. He's not just your average 3rd string quarterback. He transferred for a reason, to have an opportunity to start. And he was part of that quarterback battle. So I think they're ready for this moment. I think Britt Key talked about it. He just wants to see his guys who've been practicing all year show it on the field today.
Yeah, their total yardage number now inching closer to Carolina's total yardage number. Nice receiver screen for Rutherford as we check in with Stormy.
Yeah, guys, and Brent Key's message to his team coming into this game was this is an opportunity for you guys to play for pride and do something special. They could have given up and quit weeks ago, but they've come to work every single day. And as for Zach Gibson, he has been preaching new life to anybody that was within an earshot of him on this sideline coming into this drive.
They pick up the first down. Clock rolling towards 4 minutes to go here in the third. Looking to set up the screen, incomplete, almost picked. Yeah, but talking about Brent Key, of course, he's a Georgia Tech guy. Played guard, played offensive line for Georgia Tech, was a captain and an all-ACC performer. And then he got the call when Tech fired Coach Jeff Collins at the end of September to take over as the interim. Said he's learned a lot about himself, including the fact that he can do a lot on very little sleep. He's been living in the football building.
It's a little different when you got to not just coach a group, but coach the whole team. A little bit different, but he's been doing a hell of a job.
Trying to upset the Carolina apple cart. Jamie Felix with the call out across the 35.
Well, the one thing they wanted to do was be efficient in the run game. Well, they've been efficient because it set them up in third and manageable. And I think this Carolina crowd senses how important this third down is defensively for the Tar Heels. And for offense, who is going to be the guy to make the play for Georgia Tech? Remember, again, no Nate McCollum. They're everything wide receiver number 8. He is out with an injury today. They're trying to find the next guy to step up in a critical moment. Brent Key calls timeout.
Timeout. Georgia Tech, their first time out of the half.
4 of 9 on
30-second
third down.
timeout.
And Baylor at 5:30 leading up to that Kentucky-Gonzaga game. And a monster women's hoop game tomorrow on ABC. The last 2 national champions. Number 1 South Carolina and number 2 Stanford. So a big day of college hoops tomorrow on the networks.
Yeah, huge day and a huge third down here. It's been the running backs that have been the key on third downs. But also number 12, Malik Rutherford. He's been the go-to guy today. He's had a couple of big catches already. He's got 6 for 68. See if Gibson looks for Rutherford here.
Just 3-man rush. Gibson steps to the outside into heavy traffic, incomplete. Dylan Leonard had half the defense around him.
I think he had more than that. That was terrific coverage by North Carolina. They said, you know what, we're not going to rush. We're not going to blitz. We're going to drop everyone in coverage. And Zach Gibson had literally a year to throw the football. It just was nowhere to go.
So the Carolina defense comes up big. You know, the difference between a dismal season last year and the huge turnaround this year, Carolina's winning close games. They're winning games on the road, 6-0 in fact, with 6 wins within a score. And they've been owning fourth quarters in ACC play. So they might be called upon to do that again.
But it's been all about this Yellow Jackets defense today. They have been the thorn in the side of Drake Maye. It's been the defense stepping up their game plan. Force Drake Maye to step up in the pocket. Well, every time he's done that, it's been 4 or 5 Yellow Jackets right there in his face. This has been a tremendous game plan. Defensive coordinator, truly frustrating for this Carolina offense.
And that is not the kind of that Carolina is used to. 3 straight punts, all negative yardage, and 2 of those drives stymied by their own penalties. So Carolina has helped a little bit, and Georgia Tech has taken advantage. On the run, big hole for DJ Jones across midfield and a first down. Gain of 17.
They've done a lot with the running game. Okay, it's been Elijah Green, who's had a couple of big runs. This time, you mentioned it, it's DJ Jones, the junior running back. Well, we haven't seen a ton, only 2 catches on the day for Josh Downs at wide receiver.
That's the second time tonight that starting DB KJ Wallace has been injured. Sophomore from Atlanta, who has been spending a lot of time tonight traveling wherever Josh Downs goes. And he's been a big reason why Josh has been quiet.
Yeah, quiet, to say the least. He's only got 2 catches for 6 yards.
And only been targeted twice.
Yeah, it's been a... he was banged up early in that first half, but it's been a tremendous job on the back end by the Georgia Tech defense, keeping all eyes on number 11 for sure.
And it looks like he's spending some more time in the second half at out wide as opposed to in the slot. Of course, for Josh, their leading receiver, one of the front runners for the Bolitnikoff Award as the best receiver in college football. His next touchdown will tie the single season record at Carolina. It would be his 12th. And when you talk about incredible seasons, of course, you think of Jalen Hyatt at Tennessee, Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State. I probably have those names on the short list as well.
Yeah, last
along
week
with Josh.
We saw Xavier Hutchinson last week, another outstanding receiver over at Iowa State. But these have been the top 3, right? Hyatt, we just talked about Downs, and Marvin Harrison showing that he had no shin splints last week on the catch that he had. I mean, just an acrobatic catch that almost made my knee hurt.
And he is the wide receiver this time instead of in the slot top of your screen. Carolina will run it, and they'll take it down to the 44-yard line with DJ Jones. Over 170 yards on the ground for Carolina tonight.
Yeah, I think we're so focused on Downs and the passing attack, right? And Drake Maye and his throwing ability that right now they're just been ground and pound, and it's been effective for the Carolina offense. May not be what you want, but definitely they're making drives and sustaining drives with the run game.
Under 2.5 to go in the third. Maye, incomplete, dropped by Kamari Morales. And what appeared to be a catchable ball.
Third down again, Georgia Tech defense. So obviously, number 1, double Josh Downs. That's the number 1 thing. But also watch the rush for Georgia Tech. They continue to loop guys to the outside and force Drake Maye to have to step up.
Off the pump, looking deep downfield, and the catch at the 20 by Bryson Nesbitt. And he's become the go-to here tonight. The tight end having a field day, a gain of 25.
Yeah, he's been the go-to guy. That is his 4th catch on the day. And it's been the target, the favorite target of Drake Maye. Along that sideline, he's putting that ball in such a narrow window. It's between the corners and safeties, but it's the tight end who's been having a big game.
Maye 12 of 20, 138 yards. Back to the run, and in the backfield immediately to get DJ Jones was Sylvain Yunjuan. And a loss of 4.
Yunjuan is just, when the ball snapped, he just takes off and fires. And then earlier he had a nice contain rush. So he's just doing his job. He's taught, look, you see run, you go get ball carrier. You see pass, keep the quarterback in the box. Keep him in the pocket. Nice job by you, John.
They have been winning the line of scrimmage. 10 tackles for loss tonight. And the pass is intercepted. LaMiles Brooks. And it's the first Drake Maye interception in 5 games. 196 consecutive pass attempts without a pick. And Georgia Tech gets them.
Wow. It's just an outstanding throw, interception on the outside. This has been the outstanding play of LaMiles Brooks. He's had 2 tackles earlier, but this time he kind of waits in the weeds. Instead of going with his coverage, he stands off and keeps his eyes on the quarterback. It was Maye looking at the tight end Nesbitt, but Brooks comes off of Nesbitt and just reaches back with the interception. That's a great play by Brooks. Seeing the quarterback.
Third takeaway of the season for the Georgia Tech defense. And they'll run it right up the middle with Hassan Hall and a gain of 8.
Wow, miscues for North Carolina offensively, right? A couple of holding calls, a fumble, now the interception that's really thwarted some drives for the North Carolina offense. And Georgia Tech offense says, you know what, that's fine. We're going to go right back to our game plan, shorten this game, and run the football.
Gibson checks it down. Carter, he's got the first down across the 30.
And just keep that chain rolling, keep that clock rolling, keep the chains moving, clock rolling. They're in no rush.
Oh, there's no need to run another play here.
And I think that's what
head to the fourth quarter.
That's what Brent Key is telling his quarterback, Zach Gibson.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Sonos. 17-14, Carolina hanging on. Georgia Tech twice the yardage of the Heels in that third quarter, and they had the only touchdown. And trying to come all the way back from a 17-point deficit, their defense has shut down the potent Carolina attack. And they have found success running the football, controlling that clock. A gain of 7 for Hassan Hall.
Yeah, this is the mentality that you need, right? They know it's going to be a tough, physical football game. And that's what this fourth quarter is all about, Beth. It's which team is going to be more mentally tough. Who makes the least amount of mistakes? Because on the Carolina side, it's been holding calls, it's been fumbles. And on the Georgia Tech side, they're like, you know what? This is what we want. We wanted a nasty game.
Carter breaking free across midfield. He takes it inside the 25 and shoved out of bounds by Gio Biggers. 40 yards on the end around.
Well, Chip Long is in his bag now, right? Got everybody going to the right with the boot, and then here comes Malachi Carter from the slot, comes back around on the end around, and nobody from the Carolina defense was there. He makes one guy miss, and he's up the sideline. Chip Long digging deep into the bag of tricks in the fourth quarter.
They've been disciplined. They've been taking care of the ball. They've limited the penalties, only 1 tonight. Everything on their checklist they've been able to do. The pass to Carter to the 15. And of course, as you mentioned, they've been running and controlling the tempo tonight. Into the red zone.
I'm just telling you, blind resume, right? There's always the blind resume. You come in for the first time. Who's been the better quarterback tonight? Who's been the better quarterback? I come in wanting to see Drake Maye take over this football game, and it's really been Zach Gibson who's taken over this football game, leading drives and making the right decisions.
And now for the second time into the red zone, they change and go to Pumachan. He spins inside the 10. They scored using this combo midway through the third quarter when Pumachan had the short touchdown run. Or excuse me, they give to Dante Smith after Pumachan got him close. And now they're looking at 1st and goal from the 8.
The added element of the quarterback run. Right now you're playing 11 on 11. You got to have someone for the quarterback.
Good job by Power Echols to meet the running back, Hassan Hall, at the line of scrimmage. And down he goes.
Yeah, that's a car crash right there in the A gap, or maybe in the B gap. It was supposed to be in the A gap, but watching Power Echols, 6 foot, 225-pound sophomore, meet head on for the no gain.
And now they go back to Zach Gibson at quarterback. Gibson runs up the middle with it, and down to the 6. Chris Collins giving chase. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
Ooh, this 3rd down will tell me a lot, because I've got all the momentum. I'm sitting at 4 and 6. I think right there, Brent Key's on the headset saying, hey, we're going to go for it on 4th down, fellas. We get down here, let's utilize all our downs down here.
Gibson gives to Hall, cuts it back, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. And the Ramblin' Wreck pull in front.
That's what I expected. 3rd down. The run call told me that they were probably going to go for it on 4th down. Try to cut it in half. But then you just got the power. The power of the run game, the nasty run game of Hassan Hall and this offensive line of Georgia Tech going right through the teeth of the Carolina defense for 6.
9 plays, 81 yards, 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And the extra point, 21 unanswered for the Jackets. And a 4-point lead over 13th ranked North Carolina.
You get down inside the 5-yard line, 3rd down, you gonna throw? No, not these.
What a turnaround for Georgia Tech. 21 unanswered points to take the lead over North Carolina. Trying to deny the Tar Heels a 10-1 record and knock them out of the playoff chase. Let's check into the studio. Kevin and Sam.
Yeah, Beth.
Cedric Tillman, big play receiver, finds the ball, makes an unbelievable catch in the end zone.
But the Gamecocks come right back out of the Wildcat. DeCarrion Joyner.
288 yards of total offense for South Carolina. We're not even
A wild one in the SEC. We've got a good one brewing here in ACC country. The Georgia Tech defense, can they continue to win the battles against Drake Maye? A young man literally born and raised in Tar Heel culture and bred for these types of moments, Kirk. They've been winning the close ones. They've been winning in the 4th quarter. And following in the footsteps of his dad and some of his brothers, the championship pedigree. And now the redshirt freshman has a big moment here in the 4th quarter. Incomplete across the middle as we check in with Stormy. Kathy Shelton, excuse me. And a 3rd down play intended for Josh Downs is broken up, and it's 4th down.
Lamiles Brooks with the hit on Josh Downs. Only Josh Downs' 3rd target on the game. But it was a nice job. They forced the quarterback, Drake Maye, to have to double clutch. And this just basically try to get one-on-one. Brooks stays on top and just has to tackle the ball carrier. That ball was actually thrown short of the 1st down marker. I don't know, why would you run a route short of the 1st down marker? Maybe a catch and run element. And Josh Downs does not look 100%.
Looked like he suffered an injury early in the ball game. Has been able to come back out and play, but Georgia Tech's going to have the ball back with the lead. Hey, tomorrow, got a terrific women's basketball game for you. Aaliyah Boston and #1 South Carolina taking on #2 Stanford out at Maples Pavilion. That's your last 2 national champs. Should be a dandy. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC.
You know, going back to that last 3rd down for Georgia Tech is getting to Drake Maye, where he tried to get rid of the football too soon. I mean, it's 3rd and 9. That ball has to be thrown at the 1st down marker, not 4 or 5 yards short.
They're 8th best in the country converting on 3rd down, but only 3 of 11 tonight against that Georgia Tech D. Dante Smith gets the call, picks up a couple. Don Chapman with the stop.
I don't know if that was a stop or just someone. Chapman got ran over and got in the way. I told you, this is a physical brand of football this fourth quarter has been for Georgia Tech.
Very methodical, working that play clock. Gibson, incomplete, looking for Luke Benson. And it's 3rd down and 8.
Just like we said, a big 3rd down on the other side for the Carolina offense. This is now a big 3rd down for the Georgia Tech offense. They just got the big stop and got off the field, but now you don't want to go 3 and out on the next drive.
Play it conservative, and Dante Smith barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. Cedric Gray, double-digit tackle performance tonight in the middle.
One of my impact players on the day. We knew coming in it would have to try to stop the run. That was the big key. But it's been Zach Gibson's arm that's really helped out the Georgia Tech offense. And to have the starting field position the way that Georgia Tech had it and go 3 and out, that's a bad possession for them.
Kamen Rucker, the defensive end, to his feet, and he'll trot off to the side. Josh Downs will be back deep at the 20. Shanahan on to punt it away. Downs. Wrapped up at the 23. That's a 40-yard punt, 4 on the return. 9:03 to go in the 4th. Fields all the way back. He threw 4 second-half touchdown passes, set a school record at the time. Over 400 yards passing, and Carolina rallied to beat Georgia Tech. Can Drake Maye, his son, do the same tonight?
I'm just looking at these officials in this video. Look at these officials. Look at them short shorts. You like those?
The old tube socks.
Oh, man, tube socks and short shorts for the officials. They definitely changed their attire.
Can UNC flip the script? After just 50 yards of offense in the second half, a big play to Gavin Blackwell and a gain of 21.
And that's just an underneath throw from Drake Maye. He gets it underneath. It's the inside move by Gavin Blackwell. Allende Ely, the linebacker, just overran it. Had a little alley for the first.
Derek Allen, the injured player for Georgia Tech, which is already down a starter in the secondary tonight.
It seems like places
already into the ACC championship game, but if they can hang on to just that one loss and get wins this week and next and beat Clemson in the ACC championship, who knows what the playoff committee might think.
Yeah, but it's about winning today. You mentioned it. You keep winning. All right. It's funny, Mac Brown said, hey, just win, baby. Gave us the old Al Davis.
Yes. A touchdown pass in every game this season for Drake Maye, but he does not have one tonight, as the Georgia Tech defense has stymied them. Morales with the catch across midfield. The fight about a yard shy, looks like, of first down yardage. Derek Allen, the injured player a moment ago, is back into the game. And the 3rd down run up the middle, Elijah Green, and it doesn't look like he got there.
No, he's short. It's 4th down.
4th and 1.
That is 4th down. Way to build a wall by Georgia Tech, and now And you're going for it here. Big fourth down call right here.
1 for 2 on fourth downs tonight. Maye has Omarion Hampton in the backfield. And now Drake goes under center. And the push from behind gets him the first down to the 44. Brought in the tight end Kendall Carr to help out.
Yeah, he's 6'4.5". Drake Maye is 220 pounds. And you know how much I love the quarterback when he gets under center. I don't like the shotgun on fourth and short. Get that quarterback under center. Let the big man lean forward for a first down.
Can they put the frustrations behind them? A couple of trips into the red zone with just 3 points to show for it in the first half. They had a 68-yard touchdown run called back by a penalty, and another sack for the Georgia Tech D. That's the 5th of the night, and Keon White continues his menacing night.
It's just Keon White. He is having a day in which I think any player would love to have. That's not the hat trick. That's now the 4 trick. What's the 4?
Quad.
The quad? That's what it is. I gotta get the hockey terminology down. The quad. That's the quad for Keon.
Chases him back into Tar Heel territory, their own 45. Yet again, negative yardage plays. That one's a loss of 11. Maye throws to the outside. They'll get back to the line of scrimmage originally with Kamari Morales. The other big question here is, can they find Josh Downs in a key moment? Just 3 targets tonight for the All-America candidate.
Man, they need him to be big today. They need him to be big right now. This is the moments. And this is a Heisman moment right here for Drake Maye. Fourth quarter, about 5 minutes to go in this game. You got to put the offense on your shoulders.
Maye looking his way, and there he is, down, sits, and makes the catch. And the yards after gets him to the 20 in his biggest play of the night. A gain of 25.
You almost say, what took so long? What took so long to get Josh Downs involved in this football game? It's just an easy hookup. He stops it, realizes it's zone, catches the football, and just outraces everybody. He's the best athlete on the field right now. You find ways to get Josh Downs the football.
5 minutes to go. Play action, looking for Downs again. Good coverage downfield, and Maye gets tripped up by Dowse. He was 1 cut away from the corner, but Maye didn't have enough time.
Well, he was trying to wait. He was waiting for Bryson Nesbitt, the tight end, who was leaking down the sideline. Just didn't have enough time. He had to take off and go.
2nd and 11. Off the pump fake. Incomplete at the goal line was Morales. And it's 3rd down.
Just missed him on the inside route. So 3rd and long here. I go right back to Downs. How can I find him? Find the matchup. Would you line him in the backfield and then motion him out?
Maye so far being held to his lowest passing total of the season as Downs comes to the sideline on 3rd down. Drake Maye, incomplete at the 5. No flag, it's 4th down. Derek Allen had the coverage on DJ Jones.
That's just simultaneous. Derek Allen got there as the ball arrived. First look, that ball's thrown, and Derek Allen's right there. He is right there on the football, and that's the first time that Georgia Tech has covered the back. That was the running back out of the backfield. This is a nice job by Allen playing his center field and making a play.
Going forward on 4th down. Down 4 with 4:18 to go. Josh Downs is in the backfield. Maye throws for the end zone. Caught. Josh Downs, and he dropped it. Josh Downs dropped the touchdown Georgia Tech holds to take over. Wide open in his hands, and it squirts out.
It was, how do they create the matchup? How do they create the matchup? They created it by putting Josh Downs in the backfield. And once he got in the backfield, he was able to skirt up, get out, and had the one-on-one with the safety, Lamiles Brooks, and he just drops it. He drops the touchdown. This is a Biletnikoff candidate. In a big moment, in a big game, drops probably the biggest pass of the season.
1 for 4 in the red zone tonight in terms of touchdowns for Carolina. And now Georgia Tech with the 4-point lead and the third-string quarterback. Can they run out the clock? 4 minutes to go.
You couldn't ask for anything better if you're Brent Keavy, head coach of Georgia Tech. It's 4-minute offense for the head coach, for offensive line coach, run game coordinator, all the titles he's had while at Georgia Tech. Now interim coach. This is what you want. This is how you want to end the football game, on the 4-minute offense. With the ball in the run game, holding it last.
Zach Gibson lets that play clock run down. Short yardage out to the 25 for Hassan Hall. 3 timeouts left for Carolina. A huge favorite coming in after Tech lost their first 2 quarterbacks. And what a job so far for Zach Gibson and Tyson Pumachan, splitting duties tonight, running the offense. And it's Pierce Quick, the starting left guard, is the injured Yellow Jacket. They've already had to make a switch at right tackle with Ja'Kiah Leftwich out. Jordan Williams has moved over, and Joe Fusil has moved up on the other side of the line, and now an issue on the left side.
It's that point in the year where Coach Brent Key talked about the offensive line. You're just moving guys around. It's to a point where everybody's banged up, and you've had to switch guys. You had to find ways to create a unit that can run your offense, run your style of offense. And Quick's been one of those guys, been outstanding today for the run game.
Paolo Vaipulo is the backup, and he is now in at left guard with 3:14 to play.
3rd and 5. 3rd and 4.
Looking to pull off the upset on the road against North Carolina before heading into their Georgia game next weekend.
Does Chip Long have something in his bag right here? 3rd and 4. We've seen an end around earlier to Malachi Carter. Malik Rutherford has been a 3rd down threat as well. But the quarterback in shotgun.
Gibson, pressure right up the middle. Catch is made by Hall out of the backfield. And he's got the first down, and a play that has been working all night for Tech.
All night long, it's been running back passing game. This time they caught North Carolina in the blitz, and you've got to make that play on the outside. You've got to. You know the back's there. You've got to be in place to get that. That time, Cameron Kelly, the guy who had the big interception last week to help seal the game versus Wake Forest, this time misses in coverage.
The ruling on the field as the first down was made. The previous play is under further review.
Looks like they're going to review the spot.
Yeah, at first glance, I thought that he got enough for the first down. I did see a hand go down, but I don't know if it went out of bounds. But at first look, he got enough. It was a close call right there on the sideline.
See, he skids. Ooh, is his left foot out of bounds right there?
Yeah, I don't see anything that tells me. I still think that he's in bounds. It's not conclusive enough. And I want you to look at the head of that official standing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the official standing right there in his sight. He's looking at, watch the official's eyes. He's right there looking.
And he definitely gets to and beyond the 30, and he needed the 29.
Yeah, I think I see a stripe in between there. I don't see enough to overturn the call on the field. I don't see anything definitive.
Ruling on the field is first down yardage.
Yeah, I don't see any I believe that official who's standing right to the left. He's standing right there on along that line. He's got the best eyesight of all of us. I don't see enough to overturn it. But that's unbelievable balance there, though, by Hassan Hall. We're not talking about him putting that right hand down to leverage him to stay up and get enough for that first down.
That's all good, as long as you don't get the wrist and the forearm
down. Yeah, as long as you get the wrist,
down.
you're good. But they went back to the go-to play. Zach Gibson reading blitz and knowing where his hot route was. He read the blitz, knew where the hot route was, and delivered the ball right where it needed to be. That's not one that you deliver right in front. You got to lob that. Allow your running back to fall underneath it and have the ability to catch and run.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down.
Remember when we talked to Brent Key this week, and he talked about what he liked about Zach Gibson and Tyson Pumachan and the chance they would have tonight. And that's the word he used, actually. Just give us a chance, fellas. Don't try and do too much.
Yeah.
And neither one of those guys has so far. And now it's Pumachan out there. Just take care of the football and manage the offense. Pumachan, nothing doing. Hey, it's college football rivalry weekend beginning Thanksgiving night. Coming up next week. And a couple of our featured matchups over the weekend. How about Florida and Florida State on Friday, and then USC Notre Dame from the LA Coliseum on Saturday. Both of those prime times, 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. And another injured offensive lineman. This time it's Weston Franklin, the center. The second O-lineman to go down on this possession. William Lay is the next man listed on the depth chart. And that would be the third backup offensive lineman that would have to move into the starting unit or into the rotation here tonight.
The ruling on the field, a timeout for an injured player. North Carolina is not charged a timeout. The game clock will start on the ready for play.
So new guys in there at left guard, center, and right guard.
Yeah, just put it together. It's just who's available. You just tell me, give me 5 healthy bodies, 5 guys who can fire off on the football and knock the guy across from him back. And that's what Brent Key is looking for right here. 2:35 left. You're just trying to knock guys back, create a couple lanes. And you've got Pumachan in at quarterback to force the defense of Carolina to play 11 on 11. They're forcing all Tar Heel defenders to have to be a part of this run game.
Second down and 7. Pumachan will get him a 3rd and short. Of course, the significance here for North Carolina, if they were to lose, they have a slim playoff chance still, but a loss would end that and leave 9th-ranked Clemson as the only ACC team left in the mix. A Clemson team which North Carolina is already set to play in the ACC final.
Correct. And so if you're the ACC, you will love both these teams to stay as highly ranked as possible to give each other an opportunity But a loss here for North Carolina actually would hurt the resume more of Clemson playing against them later on and winning.
And it's not for lack of opportunities tonight. They have had their chances. Georgia Tech's defense has come up huge on a couple of occasions. But they have really struggled on the offensive end, which we haven't seen much of this season. This was a touchdown called back for a hold.
They had the fumble right previously that we just saw as well. And this is the first interception by Drake Maye in 196 attempts.
And this would have given them the lead just moments ago. The All-American wideout, Josh Downs, with the drop in the end zone. Tech has had a big hand in all that. 11 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and the interception tonight for their defense. As Drake Maye watches, will they get one more chance? 3rd and 4. It's back to Zach Gibson at quarterback. All kinds of movement, but no snap of the football with the new center, William Maye, just into the game.
Back him up 5 yards. That's going to be false start. Everybody on the offense move besides the center.
False start. Several players. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Several players.
Yeah, that's about right. The most important person that was supposed to move didn't. That was the center. You just mentioned it. William Maye is the backup to Weston Franklin. And that was the first play that Gibson had worked with Maye. Remember, the previous was with Pumachan. That time, Gibson in the game.
And now they're bringing the noise. 3rd and 9. Gibson hands it off. And the run out across the 40 for Hassan Hall, and he's got the first down.
Wow.
Needed 9, and he got 10.
3rd and 9, and just watch the blocking. The kick out, you get the lead by Dylan Leonard, number 2, the tight end. And then Hassan Hall, the Louisville transfer. He's been in the ACC. He knows about playing against North Carolina. Knowing where the first down marker, you got to know what's needed. Hassan Hall knew where he needed to get to. That's a clinching 3rd down pickup.
21 unanswered points. It started with a score late in the 2nd quarter. And it's been all Georgia Tech in the 2nd half. After they were down 17-zip. Hall wrapped up. Tar Heels have the 2 timeouts remaining. And they will use one here with
timeout.
1:34
North Carolina,
to go.
their 2nd timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
That's a huge 3rd down pickup again. On 3rd and 9, you did everything that you've been able to do. And you find a way to get enough on 3rd down. That's a huge, huge run. But I go to Zach Gibson. He's been the better quarterback tonight. He's thrown the football well, but he's found the underneath available receivers when they were there. The UARs were all around this game. It's the underneath throws to the to the running backs, the tight ends. But more importantly, Chip Long, the offensive coordinator, realizing, hey, we've got to do some things. And it's the end around to Malachi Carter. But this was the play. The 3rd down play to Hassan Hall on the outside. The catch and run for the big pickup for a 1st down. Zach Gibson has had a hell of a game, but he's done 2 things. Number 1, he's led the offense. Number 1, that's number 1. But number 2, protected the football.
Still a chance for the Tar Heels to get the ball back. The 1 timeout, 1:34 to go. Pumachan out of the gun. Pumachan will run with it. Staying on his feet and out to midfield to set up a 3rd and 1 and a gain of 9. 1 yard away from possibly locking this thing up.
Timeout, North Carolina. Their 3rd timeout of the half.
Final timeout, Tar Heels.
This is North Carolina's 3rd and final timeout.
I know what's being said in the Georgia Tech huddle. If I'm Brent Key, I'm looking everybody on this offense in the eye and looking at them all and saying, fellas, what have we been through this season? We've been through heartache. We've been through heartbreak. We've been through coaching changes. Fellas, we're not even supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be in this game. And I'm going to ask you, can I get 1 yard? Can you give me 1 yard on the road? And that's what they should be talking about. We're not supposed to be in here. We're in our third quarterback. Look at the way that our season started. Like the heartbreak, heartache, and you've got an opportunity to knock back the number 13 team in the country, knock them back 1 yard to get a first down to seal this game. And on the opposite side, you're North Carolina defensively, you got to sell out. You got to go all out. If they throw the football, hopefully you got the great coverage behind it, but you got to sell out and stop the run here.
3rd and 1. And no timeouts remaining for North Carolina. If the Jackets get a fresh set of downs. Pumachan. Hassan runs and reaches, and the reach will make it close.
That reach makes it close, but it also makes that clock continue to tick.
They'll stop it for a measurement, I think, here. Let's see. 1:15 to go, and they will bring out the chains. Take a peek.
Ooh, this is going to be close. I think he may be, from my vantage point, he gets it by the nose. I think a quarter of the football is past this first down marker.
Brent Key on the headset right now thinking, okay, what's our best play if we want to go for it on 4th down if we don't get it?
I think they got just enough.
First down, Georgia Tech.
I said a quarter of the football. It was a half of football. They got enough.
And they won't have to worry about that 4th down call. Fresh set of downs with 1:15 to go. And a moment away from a stunning upset of 13th ranked North Carolina after the Heels jumped in front 17-0 in the first half. Gibson takes a knee.
Wow. This is why you love college football. They come in as big-time underdogs. They lose their first-string quarterback, their second-string quarterback. How many different offensive line combinations did we see today? We learned right before the game, walking on the field, that they were going to be without their best offensive player, Nate McCollum. He wasn't suited up. And yet the heart, the fight, the will of this football team led by Brent Key.
And the Tech defense that did not let Drake Maye and Josh Downs beat them. Held Maye without a touchdown pass for the first time this season.
Ton of credit to Andrew Thacker, the defensive coordinator. We talked to him this week, and he had a plan. He had a plan on what he wanted to do with Drake Maye, and they executed that plan to perfection.
What a win for Georgia Tech and interim head coach Brent Key in front of his new athletic director, Jay Batt, in the house tonight. And they will pick up the win before heading off to face Georgia and the #1 Dogs next weekend as North Carolina falls for just the 2nd time this season.